Welcome to Unplugged, the podcast where we keep it real about relationships, friendships, and navigating life's hustle. Today we're diving deep into the game of balancing work, entrepreneurship, and keeping those tight connections alive. It's all about being true to yourself. And you know you gotta address the elephant in the room, social media. From double taps to DM slides, we'll break down how it's changing the game of relationships. Join me Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Fire 716 Radio. Welcome to Unplugged. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Unplugged. So today I have my wonderful cousin here with me today, Myesha, and it is her birthday, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
How are you feeling? First birthday home and you said 11 years?
Yeah.
Are you excited to be with your family here?
Yeah, it's a change of pace. I'm usually not big on celebrating my birthday. I don't really do nothing big like some people celebrate from the day, first of the month to the end of the month. But I am happy to be home with my family.
33. So what, you being 33, what do you feel that has brought you in life?
33. I feel like I don't feel complete, but I feel like I am headed in the right direction. I feel like I'm learning to go with the flow of life, not to set too many standards and be like, I have to do this before I'm 25, I have to do this, I have to do that, because life constantly redirects you. If that's not what the Most High has destined for you, you feel like you keep getting thrown a wrench, or however people say it. But I feel like I just take it day by day and go with the flow. It's less stressful.
I mean, I feel like you've accomplished a lot so far, though. So what is it that's not filling you?
Well, I do feel like I'm fulfilled, but I just feel like I'm not as hard on myself. So being like a teen parent, I feel like I set so many expectations for myself, and that's perfect. But sometimes we spend too much time on dwelling on something that might take years to accomplish, trying to accomplish it in a short period of time, instead of just going with the flow, being consistent, and just going with it.
And then being a teen parent, I feel like watching, I was obviously a kid when
Right.
you were a teenager, but you weren't necessarily being a teen parent wasn't your whole personality. So what was it that steered you away from doing that? Because some people centered their life around being a teen parent, but you actually pushed yourself, pushed your personality. You went to college, all that stuff.
I would say being a teen parent kind of shaped my whole life, because I knew what I didn't want to do. Like, you see the stereotypical teen mom, and how they just spend their whole life struggling.
Mm-hmm.
Like a kind of like a hamster on a wheel. I knew that I didn't want to take that route, so I basically used that as a crutch, and set goals for myself. I knew I wanted to go to college even before I got pregnant. At 15, I had desires and goals for myself, but I knew now that I have somebody that depend on me, and that's going to look up to me if he doesn't look up to anybody else. That I had to do something. I didn't know what I was going to do, but I had to be consistent and show him pure love, and show him to be consistent. You know what I mean? Like, to be a good example for him, because at the end of the day, no matter who he chooses to follow, he always has to look back at his mother. Like, what did his mother do? Like, I don't think that he realized that I was 15 when I had him. Now that he'll be 18 in March, and graduating class of 2024. That's like, I cry every time I think about
State?
it. He wants to go to Delaware State for computer engineering. But just showing him basically never give up, no matter what life throws at you. I was 15 and pregnant. It didn't stop anything. I graduated on time with honors. Went to college soon. I graduated June 24th, went to college July, I think it was 6th. So nothing never stopped me. I never let that break me. I just let it keep me running. So, yeah.
And once you got to college, what was it like being a mom and being a student?
I can't say that it was hard, because I had a lot of support, like my mom, my grandma, my godmom. When I did the summer program, I stayed at NAG University for 4 weeks, I think Newport was. And I had to live on campus. But my family accommodated me. I didn't have to worry about anything. My godmom, my mom, my grandma, they basically raised my son for those 4 weeks. They brought him there to visit me or, stay the night with me sometimes, but I never had to worry about him. I could completely focus on school. So having that support net definitely like made it a lot easier for me. But everybody doesn't have that, so it might not go that way for other people. But I would say don't ever let that deter you. Just keep going. Try something harder. See if you can bring daycare to a college or different things like that. Because college is really students are going through until a student brings it up to them to let them know what they need, and they'll be surprised how many other students need that resource. So
And
never be afraid to speak up.
I just want to shed a little light on NUOP because I was in that same program.
Yeah.
Graduated from Niagara University, and honestly, that program is amazing. I was a peer counselor. One of my junior year, there was a student who had a kid, and they were very like accommodating with him and stuff. So you right. You don't really think about that stuff until it is brought to your attention. And it was like college helped me like open my eyes to see that people go through so many things that we don't even realize. We just see people surface level, and you always have to think about people like here, not here.
Right.
So, but no, growing up, honestly, I have always looked at you as like a role model. Like you really do inspire me so much. All the women in my family inspire me. You guys are honestly amazing. You guys do so many things, but you especially, you moved. You're very successful in my eyes. So you're great. You're great. You are you are the Beyonce of the family. I will say that you are the Beyonce of the family. So I really am proud of the person that you have become. From when I was younger, it was amazing watching you grow up and become the person that you are. Amazing mom, amazing wife. So business owner. I love that.
Thank you. You were trying to get me to cry.
No, I don't want you to cry. Um, and then speaking on being a mom and a business owner and a wife, how do you juggle all of that?
Oh, that took years. Like I feel like now I'm kind of starting to get a grasp. Being so, I am a mom of four. That's a lot. Point blank. From 17 to 2. So then my husband, he also has his own business. Shout out to the vending biz. He's very busy on a larger scale than me. Like you might think like, oh, my cousin is big, but he's like way bigger. I look at him like my superhero.
Yeah.
So I just basically you have to be on the same wavelength as your partner. He helps me, I help him. Sometimes I have to stop what I'm doing to jump in and be a worker for him. Sometimes he has to stop what he's doing to be a worker for me. Like for instance, I'm on a cart from 9 to 5 every day. He might call like, babe, what you gotta do? You know that already means like I need you. So I'm like, I don't have to do anything. What do you need me to do? He's like, no, but what do you need to do? I said, I don't have to do anything. What do you need me to do? Oh, well, can you go to Sam's Club and get me 10 Gatorades? Mind you, my car is packed to the brim already. So I'm like, cool. I go home, drop the load off, call the big kids out, take everything out, put it in the shed, and then I go to Sam's Club with the 2 little kids. And Sam's Club, they know us.
Really?
They know us. I go in there, I get the Gatorades and drive them back home. But it just helps him. So our goal at the end of the night is to have time for us, because when we wake up in the morning, we wake up at 6:30, we get the kids where they got to go. Everybody in our house moves. The big kids my son works with my husband. My daughter sometimes work with me on the smoothie cart. The 2 little kids go to camp and daycare. We try to keep everybody moving because you don't want to let one person get left behind. Like, you know what I mean? I guess it's not left behind, but kind of in the background because we're constantly moving through life. So we just try to be supportive of each other and, always willing to step up to help the other person. Even before we started all of these businesses, I always like we worked regular jobs and I just always wanted to show him support because he never really wanted me to work and he wanted me to stay home and take care of the family. But in this day and age and financial climate, you have to be able to go out and get the money because the money not coming to you. So I would always just try to show my support. Like if he works a double and gets off in the morning, I don't care what I have to do in the morning. I'm going to make sure that he has breakfast in the morning when he gets home. Or if he gets off at 11 o'clock at night, I'm going to make sure the house is clean, the kids are asleep, and he has something to eat. It's small things that in a marriage you learn to adapt. I didn't always do that. And then I feel like it was more friction in our relationship because he comes home tired from work. It's not nothing to eat in the house, or the house is a mess. It clutters your mind. When you get home, you want to calm down, relax, and just chill. So it's like trial and error, but I feel like I'm getting it now.
So, do you feel like anything in your life growing up kind of like catered to like you not getting those things in the first run?
Um, I would say my mom. I would say like growing up in a household. I grew up in two households. I grew up with my mom, who was a single parent, and then I grew up with my godmom and my papa, who were married for years.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of living in my mom's household. She was a hustler, still a hustler. Showed that independent single woman, and then my godmom was more submissive to her husband.
Mm-hmm.
That married, kind of like the Huxtable lifestyle. I kind of put two and two together, but then life happens, and you might not get it on the first try. But if you keep being consistent in your life, your plan, then eventually you will get what you're looking for. But a lot of people, when you're trying to be consistent, they give up before you even have that big break. And usually, when things get the worst, that's when you have your breakthrough. That's when the floor will fall in, and you will fall right into the place where you're supposed to be. So I would say that.
Do you think that is the reason why like a lot of relationships like with my age bracket don't work out because people get to that breaking point and they just let everything fall apart. They don't necessarily try to work things out.
Yes, I say yes and no, because sometimes people get the being consistent and sticking together misconstrued, and they just allow people to walk all over them, and they don't set standards. In
Mm-hmm.
relationships, you have to set boundaries and standards within each other to know that no, you're not going to go cheat on me 12, 15 times and be doing everything you want, and then I'm just going to still be here and be fighting for this love. You have to be able to fight for the love together and set standards and trust and boundaries within each other. Like my husband can go wherever he want to go. I'll never question, oh well, or have a jealous heart of what he does, because I feel like I love him deep enough and he loves me deep enough to not um, break our vows. So I feel like with the younger generation, everybody is living this facade. Like you want to be on social media like the big happy family, but in real life, your life is not that. So I would say in today's generation, instead of putting all the energy into building a facade, put the energy into building the life that you really want,
Mm-hmm.
and be consistent with yourself. Be consistent with yourself first before you can be consistent with a partner, and then build together.
That's what I was going to ask you next. Do you think that you have to do the inner work with yourself before you can ever be successful in like anything, like a relationship, a friendship, a business
Yes,
idea?
yes, I truly believe that, because I've had um, times where I was in a deep, deep, deep depression when we first moved to Philadelphia, because I didn't feel complete and fulfilled in myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a new city, didn't know anybody. I was waitressing. I didn't feel like that's where I wanted to be. I never really wanted to. I have all, how you have all these ideas in your head, but
Yeah.
you don't know which one to do first or
Mm-hmm.
how to even start. Like, you know what I mean? So I started writing things down in a journal and writing down a few steps of how to get to it. I would say I made that my step one for everything that I try to do. Um, and that's been working for me so far. So it might work for someone else.
And then what was it like moving to Philly? Like, do you feel like it helped you grow in a way?
Yes, I definitely think that it helped me grow, because coming from a small city like Niagara Falls, I love my city where I'm from, but I feel like everybody is fighting to be on the same step.
Mm-hmm.
The city is so small, everybody's on the same level. When I come home, I feel like everybody's on the same level. I don't think that nobody is bigger than anybody. I don't care what car they drive, what street they live on, what jewelry they got on. Everybody's on the same level. But when you go to these bigger cities, you go to areas where I would call it hood adjacent, because it can be like a gentrified area with $1 million homes in it. Then you can go 2 blocks up and turn left, and it could be an active shooting and a robbery happening on the same time in condemned houses, but people still living in them. Or you can go up the street and there's kids outside selling waters in the middle of the highway. Everybody's on so many different levels, and you see so many different pieces of life that people go through. homelessness. I never seen homelessness the way that I seen it in Philadelphia until I moved to Philadelphia. People literally sleeping on bus shelters in the middle of the ground, on the back of banks, all kind of things like that. And I never seen that before. And it makes you appreciate life more, and just try to keep going, keep hustling, keep being consistent with yourself because you don't want to get there. Lord knows how those people got there. It could be drugs, it could be anything. I talk to a lot of homeless people. I don't know why, but that's just something that I do. I feed them. I tell them all the time, if you need anything and I'm out here on this corner, you come over here and you don't hesitate to ask because I'm going to give it to you. It's not going to cost me anything to give you what I have to offer. People pay for it all day. I can give it to you for free.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like being in a larger city, you see different levels of life. And it makes you say, oh, I want to go this route. No, I don't want to go that route. And it makes you navigate through life a little easier. You learn from other people's mistakes to get through your own life.
And I think that just going back to like what you say about like Niagara Falls, everyone being on the same level, I definitely agree with you there. And I think one of the reasons that we can't come up out of the same level is because the egos are too big in the
Everybody's in
city.
competition.
Everybody is in competition, and I can't remember who I was telling this, but like the whole reason for this is to bring positivity to the city because there's so much positivity, there's so much talent, so much talent, and like last week my brother put on the Buffalo Summer Jam, and there were multiple artists there. Most of them were from Buffalo, only two of them were from Niagara Falls, but it's like we have much more rappers than that. We have people who can do those things in the city, but they're not going to come together like that. And the whole time I'm just saying like, wow, this is beautiful. Like I love this. It's so dope. I love seeing young people do well in life. I love black people, especially young people in general. But I think it is definitely like an ego thing, and we have to learn how to, like you say, just navigate through life a little bit easier
and coexist with each other, and don't be afraid or ashamed to shout somebody out.
Mm-hmm.
Like for instance, everybody's like, well, why don't you bring a smoothie shop here? I'm like, no, you have a smoothie shop. Shout out to Dream Juice Bar, because the reason why you don't have these things in the city because you guys don't support what's already in your city.
Mm-hmm.
You have to support what you have here for them to grow bigger, to bring you more.
Never even heard about that juice bar.
Yeah, it's on Pine Avenue. Shout out to them. They're opening up a second location at the factory outlet, or what is the mall called?
Yeah, factory
outlet. Yeah. So shout out to them. Yeah, definitely. Like, and I commend them. Like, even I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter when you go into the bread aisle. It's a million different kinds of bread.
Mm-hmm.
Be a million and one. It doesn't matter. Who's going to support you and what's for you will always be for you. No matter if it happens today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. If you stay consistent, what's for you will always come.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So my next question would be to you, for someone such as myself, like a young female growing up, I guess. What would be some life advice that you would give me?
Stay consistent. Stay truthful. Never, what am I trying to say? Never be in denial with yourself. If you can be truthful about anything, always be truthful to yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you look in the mirror, you only have to be you. Never try to be anybody else. I know right now everybody's scrolling through Instagram. I want a butt like her. I want abs like her. I want skin like her. I want nails like her. No, just be yourself. Nobody can ever duplicate you. So be your true, honest self. Whatever dreams or goals that you have for yourself, stay consistent with those. Keep following them. Follow through. Like you want to do podcasts, journalism. Keep pushing it. Every person that no interview is not a bad interview. Especially the way that social media goes right now. It could be one thing. I can say one wrong thing on here and a million people will see it. So always be consistent, follow through, set goals for yourself. Never get too complacent. Always want to keep going. Keep rolling. Oh, this not working. Okay, I'm going to go left this time. Like, never give up. Just keep navigating through life. Never just stop. Because if you stop, you die.
You die.
Not in the physical sense, like not transitioning, but you know what I mean? Like if I stop watering a flower, is it going to grow?
Mm-mm.
So if you stop watering yourself in knowledge and, reading books, watching podcasts, different ways to level up, motivating yourself, then you won't grow. So
That
that would
is
be my advice.
that's nice. I don't know if you watched the I forgot what episode that was, the third episode, but I was actually like about to quit on the podcast because yeah, 3 episodes in, I'm done. He didn't even know. I came in and I started talking. I was like, yeah, so I was gonna quit. I was trying to figure out how I was gonna quit. I'm not going to. Like honestly, I really do enjoy this. It's nice, and there has been like so many people just reaching out to me already. Like so.
And this can be like everything that you and Frank are doing. This can be an outlet for the community
Mhm.
because even if it don't blow up overnight, people are gonna start watching it. You know, it becomes a fad. You know what I mean? People, but whatever the message is, somebody needs to hear it, and
Mhm.
you never know who that person is gonna share it to, and then the next person is gonna hear it. You never know who's gonna slide in your DM. You never know. Like, so I would just say never, even if you do it for a hobby and you find something, a bigger passion for something else that you want to do, just stay consistent. If you feel like this is the way that you relax, and I love podcasts, I listen to podcasts all the time, and I feel like it keeps my brain rolling. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I didn't know. Like, it gives you different perspectives on what people go through. Everybody looks like a shiny new penny on
Right.
social media and stuff like that. But when you peel the layers back, you learn like people probably look at me like I didn't know she had a baby at 15, or I didn't know she had no kids. But and when you get in these spaces and you can talk freely, then you learn new things about people and you show more appreciation for humans, and what they've been through and how they grew and overcame those obstacles. So I think just keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. So I say so a lot. I have to stop doing that. Another question that I had for you is, what misconceptions are there about entrepreneurship?
That is easy. It's not easy. I don't know if you've seen it, but last week, so in the morning I'm always tired. I'm not a morning person, but I'm always up in the morning. But I'm always trying to accommodate people. So on the smoothie cart, I have a few people that meet me in the parking lot before I even set up in the morning.
Really?
So I'm always trying to rush and get out there. Last week I did an event for the Board of Education, so I wasn't in my regular spot. But a few people hit me up and they're like, "We miss you. Can you please come out?" So I'm like, "All right, tomorrow I'll come out between nine, from 9 to 11." And I went out there and I'm rushing because I have this lady. She's late for work every day because she want to get a smoothie. So I'm like, let me hurry up so she can, I put the cart down and I forgot to put the brake. And after I served all these customers, I started rolling down the street. But me, I'm like, don't panic because I'm so used to being with my kids. So I kind of like always have like a
Mommy mode.
mommy mode poker face. So the cart started rolling. I like watched it roll while I'm in it. I like watched it roll past the time. I'm like, I hopped out and I was like thinking what I'm gonna do next, but all this is like in like 5 seconds, and it was like a box that I had just thrown out the window that stopped the cart from rolling. So I was like, okay, I just breathed. I went and got my car. I hitched the cart back up, moved it back into place, put the brake, and then took the next customer.
That's crazy.
That's nuts.
That is
Now I
crazy.
think about it, I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah, I'm
Like,
trying to like. How did you do that?
I don't know, but I did it. And then I finished up there and then went to my event and served like 200 more people.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much your life right now.
Yeah. Like sometimes me and my husband lay in the bed at night and we like, whew, how do we make it through today? Thank God. And lay back down and go to sleep. Like that's how the day is. But it builds character and it builds you for the next obstacle. Because life is full of obstacles. Nothing, I don't care how much money you got, how much success, or how you say that you're successful, whether it's money or whatever, you'll forever have obstacles. You can be not money may not be the issue, but you'll still have obstacles. It might be friendship, it might be family orientation, it might be love, it could be anything. Like you'll still have obstacles. So
I feel like that's how we learn in life. You
mm-hmm.
have to go through obstacles in order to learn in life.
Yeah.
And that's something that like my junior year, all the stuff that happened that year, like
mm-hmm.
I learned so much from
right.
those experiences.
And it's stronger.
Yeah. And but like, and I think like a lot before anything. So it's like you definitely have to have obstacles. They're tough. I'm going through obstacles right now, but like
just get through them.
Yeah.
Don't stop. Just get through them. Don't dwell on it for too long because that slows you down, and then you're still in that obstacle dealing with it for longer.
I think that's my biggest issue is like you said, you're not hard on yourself. I'm too hard on myself. Like I expect things to go smooth sailing all the time, and that's never the case. And it's like, why? Like, why?
See, that's how my husband is. He sets, like, he will literally get up in the morning. Sometimes he meditates in the morning before starting the day, depending on how hectic the day is, and write everything down. Like, okay, at 12, I'm going to do this. At 3, I'm going to do this. And say at 12, he can't do that because he's still doing what he was doing at 11 o'clock. He will have a fit. I'm like, no, just get it done and then move to the next task. It don't have to be at that time. As long as you get it done or partially get it done and get back to it, just keep moving forward. Yeah. If you keep moving forward in life, nothing can stop you. Just keep moving forward.
I think it's easier said than done when you are the kind of person that you are. What is Kashif's sign? Capricorn. Okay. I'm a Taurus, so bullheaded, stubborn. Yeah. So I guess it's hard for me to get out of that. And I'm trying to unlearn all of those things. It's taken a lot of time, but impatience. I have a little bit of patience now, I would say. A little bit. Yeah, I learned that at work just because, like, I work in retail, I deal with people. Someone yesterday just told me, they're like, oh, you should become a nurse because you have so much patience. I'm like, absolutely not. I don't ever want to touch any kind of medical. No, that's not.
I actually I worked in a lot of different fields. Like, I worked for, now I see you guys have CSO Plasma. I worked there. I started entry level there and ended up managing the whole building.
Really?
In 2 years. And then I stopped working there. Then I learned phlebotomy there, got certified in phlebotomy. Then they would fly me all over to different centers in the United States to teach people phlebotomy. And then I went to University of Pennsylvania and did dermatology research. Like, I love the customer service, I guess you call it customer care aspect of healthcare. And I'm not like scared of blood, and I kind of like dead bodies and stuff like that. I don't know. It's weird, but I love being an entrepreneur more.
I was going to say, like, you kind of saying like you've done this and you've done that and you've done this. But you're meant to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I feel like I'm meant to be an entrepreneur.
You were definitely meant to be.
But all of those different jobs build you up for what you're destined for. So I feel like anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur, you can't just wake up and be an entrepreneur. You need to work for somebody, figure out how their company works, how to manage their company, and take different pebbles from each thing that you do to build up a successful business for what you want to do to be an entrepreneur.
So what job helped you get that mindset the most? Like, what job do you feel like was like the job that was like, okay, this is it?
Okay, I would say the most challenging job was CSO Plasma, because in Philly, CSO Plasma is, you get a lot of drug addicts, you get a lot of homeless people, and they have to meet a certain criteria to get through to get back to donate plasma. Mm-hmm. And you have to be able to educate them on their health, or, so on and so forth. So dealing with the general population, you get people in there that come in there high, drunk, want to fight. I had to drag a lady out and hold her down on the concrete by her throat until the police came. It builds you up to know how to deal with stuff in your own space as an entrepreneur. Like, I had to deal with a lady. She sent her granddaughter to the smoothie cart to get fruit salad. Mind you, fruit salad huge. And then she came and told me that I don't give enough food for the money. And I said, well, did you eat it? And she said, yes. I said, well, I guess you were satisfied. She said, well, try to argue with me. And I said, well, ma'am, have a great day, because I'm not going to argue with you. I have other customers to serve, or, whatever. And she wanted to go back and forth. She took a picture of my license plate and just was like cussing me out. And I just was like, have a great day. But I could have went left. Mm-hmm. Like, at one point in time, I probably would have got out and battled with the lady. But now I feel like, girl, have a good day. You can't report me to nobody because I'm the boss.
Right. So, and you don't have time for all of that.
I got time, but I just didn't choose that time that day. I didn't choose it that day.
Well, I think this was my favorite interview. This was my favorite one. And I forgot to say that Mye was also the first female guest. So thank you for tuning into another episode of Unplugged. Check me out next week at Wednesday at 6 p.m. Thank you. The podcast where we keep it real about relationships, friendships, and navigating life's hustle. Today we're diving deep into the game of balancing work, entrepreneurship, and keeping those tight connections alive. It's all about being true to yourself. And you know you gotta address the elephant in the room, social media. From double taps to DM slides, we'll break down how it's changing the game of relationships. Join me Wednesdays at 6 p.m. on Fire 716 Radio.